council members will take their seats. City Secretary will call a roll in 1 minute. City Manager will notify council members we're about to start. Where are they irritated? Council members will take their seats, and the City Secretary will call a roll.
Councilman Duncan, Councilman McDaniel, Councilwoman Mallory, Councilwoman Halstead, Councilman Wells, Councilman Luna, Councilman Fielding, Councilwoman Crenshaw, Councilman Hicks, Councilwoman Bloomer, Councilman Stimson, Councilman Box, Deputy Mayor Pro Tem Mays, Mayor Pro Tem Garcia, Mayor Bartlett.
Here.
Mr. Mayor, you do not have a quorum.
Mr. Secretary, members of the council, I've been informed by Councilman Duncan that he will not be attending the council meeting this morning. I hope that Councilman Duncan's able to be here this afternoon. Mr. Secretary, are there other members of the council who are at City Hall who are on their way? Councilman Hicks?
No matter what, at 4 o'clock.
And I'm informed that no matter what, Councilman Hicks is leaving at 4 o'clock.
Of course, now if we get a raise or something, right?
And so is Councilwoman Halstead. They're dropping like flies. Maybe if we could coordinate the times that we're not going to be here.
Well, for purposes of the record, let the record reflect that we're going to Orlando. So I have to go home and fold clothes and kind of straighten up clothes before I leave.
The record will reflect that they're going to Orlando.
Yeah.
Would Councilman Wells and Councilwoman Crenshaw and Councilman McDaniel please come to the chambers? And also Councilman Box and Councilwoman Bloomer. The mayor has also been informed that Councilman Fielding has declined to attend a council meeting this morning. It's my hope that he'll be here this afternoon.
Well, maybe you can entertain us with a song or something.
On the agenda today will be a briefing and a discussion of the first discussion of the manager's proposed comprehensive neighborhood revitalization strategies, one of this council's principal goals. That will occur at 10 o'clock this morning for the morning session. That seems to me to be a briefing of some considerable importance to the city of Dallas, of which all members will want to have input into that system. At 1 o'clock we have the executive session, including a number of issues, including the Walker case, further briefings, a teen curfew ordinance, and the care and support of indigent persons. Then this afternoon we'll take up cable TV, solid waste collection contract, the conveyance of the Katy Railroad, and the proposed amendments to Chapter 8 of the Dallas City Code. The council is awaiting the arrival of Mayor Pro Tem Garcia, Councilman Wells, Councilwoman McDaniel, and Councilman Box. Councilwoman Bloomer has arrived at the chamber.
Councilman McDaniel is now in the chamber. Mr. Mayor, you do have a quorum.
Can they hear me? Could they hear me when I announced? I mean, did they hear me? I didn't. But you don't know if they can hear me? Did somebody go up and tell them we were trying to start? So you don't know if they did or not. Councilwoman Crenshaw has returned to the chamber, and Councilman McDaniel has returned to the chamber. Mr. Secretary?
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, ladies and gentlemen, it is 9:19 a.m. It is Wednesday, December 1st, 1993. Mr. Mayor, members of the Council, quorum of the City Council is present. The City Council of the City of Dallas is in session. The invocation this morning will be brought to us by the Reverend Roy H. Harrell, pastor of Ross Avenue Baptist Church. Will you please stand for the invocation? Including the invocation, we will go directly into our Pledge of Allegiance.
May we pray. Our Father, who in eternal wisdom ordained the gathering of people into community and the institution of government, whereby we defend ourselves against anarchy and seek to live in an ordered society with freedom and security, we thank Thee for the freedom of assembly and the privilege to speak freely as free people in a free society. We humbly ask Thy guidance of the deliberations of this council, that justice and freedom may be balanced in fairness to all in our city. And grant to these whom the citizenry have chosen the wisdom and insight to determine the transient from the permanent, and to so govern that we may achieve dignity and peace within this community. Give to the citizenry the grace to accept the actions of these who govern when unfavorable, or the patience to change them by legal means. May each member of this council be guided by integrity and goodwill for all their fellow citizens who have entrusted the stewardship of our city to them. May the beauty and joy of this season so remind us of ultimate meanings and values that we will see all people as our neighbors. Through Christ our Lord we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Reverend Harold, on behalf of the council and the entire city, we appreciate your ministry at Ross Avenue Baptist Church, and we appreciate you being here and your kind words.
Thank you, Mayor Bartlett, and may I express appreciation as I represent the East Dallas Cooperative Parish. It's a cooperative of 10 churches in East Dallas which seek to serve the inner city needs of people there at all levels, from everything from a free legal counsel with court to free medical center to food to clothing and other things. And Councilman Glenn Box is on our advisory board, and Craig McDaniel is the principal one in our whose district we operate and so on. And we've had a good relationship with this council, and you'll be hearing other ministers in the next few weeks representing the parish. We're grateful for that opportunity.
Thank you, Reverend Harold. We appreciate what you do. Councilman Luna?
Mayor, I was just going to comment that Ross Avenue just had a big anniversary celebration, and the work they are doing in East Dallas is amazing. They are partners in that area. They have a specific ministry outreach to the Hispanic community and the Asian community. They allow community organizations to use their facilities. They sponsor and promote other churches in the East Dallas area. And if there's an example of the light on the hill that says we're going to stay in the community, we're going to invest our human resources in the community, and we have partners with the community, is Ross Avenue Baptist Church. And so I'm pleased that Reverend Harold's here today and represents the fine ministry work that they do in East Dallas.
Thank you, Reverend Harold. Appreciate what you do. We have a number of very special recognitions today as we go into the holiday season. We've also gone into the cold season a little bit faster than any of us, I think, had planned. I want to bring forward Gavino Sotelo, the Director of Street and Sanitation, and he's going to introduce some of his employees. But as you're coming up, Gavino, if you would stand there and try to look humble for a moment while the City Council throws accolades your way. This last Thursday, as I suppose everyone knows, the city, or all of North Texas, was hit by an untimely and unseasonally freeze and sleet and snow. The city street and sanitation department dealt with that better, so far as I can tell, than any other city or government agency in all of North Texas, and clearly better than the Cowboys dealt with it on the same day in the same conditions. That morning, the entire department was mobilized before the freeze and the sleet hit, had their routes planned out, and if the council members will recall watching the news that night and the next day, the stories of the traffic accidents, the tie-ups, the severe problems, and all the difficulties that went along with the day all occurred in cities other than the city of Dallas. We did such a good job that we even, of course, yesterday got the flip side of a news story saying, well, what's all this sand doing on our street? I count that as a badge of honor. Mr. Sotelo, the city wishes to present to you and your department some special recognition. Whereas on Thanksgiving Day, Thursday, November 25th, 1993, the city of Dallas experienced sleet and snow which covered the streets, bridges, and overpasses of our city. Whereas the city's street and sanitation department's snow and ice response team was placed into effect at 11:30 a.m. on Thanksgiving Day, and standing operations continued through the early morning hours of Monday, November the 29th. And whereas street operations crews worked in alternating 12-hour shifts for the duration of the operation, utilizing up to 50 trucks, whereas 205 employees worked a total of 3,619 overtime hours, of which 102 employees worked a total of 983 overtime hours on Thanksgiving Day. Whereas street and sanitation employees worked through their Thanksgiving holiday weekends to ensure the highest safety possible for the citizens of Dallas with a smile on their face and without complaint. Now, therefore, I, Steve Bartlett, Mayor of the City of Dallas, on behalf of the entire City Council, recognize the employees and the professional employees at the Street and Sanitation Department of the City of Dallas for their outstanding service and dedication for Thanksgiving 1993 in Dallas, Texas. Gavino. Mr. Sotelo, if you'll stand there and look humble a few more moments, a couple of council members have some words. Councilwoman Halstead.
Found every one of them in Lake Highlands and sanded them, and it was absolutely fantastic. I got not one call of complaint from anybody. You are to be commended. You are to be blessed for your work last Thursday.
Thank you.
Deputy Mayor Pro Tem Mays.
I'd also like to add to that my total area too. I never did receive a complaint call, and I want to say that if anyone's listening from Young Chevrolet, you can wash the dust off your cars. But if that sand saved one life, I'm very proud of that, because the crew did an excellent job. Is that the crew over there? Some of the crew members?
Representing the employees, yes.
I want you all to know that you did a fantastic job, and not just this time. I want you to know that you do it whenever we have hazardous weather or whatever. You do an excellent job. Thank all of you for that.
Councilman McDaniel.
Couldn't said it any better. But I would like to say that if you had were the sanitation or streets director in Chicago, Jane Byrne would still be mayor.
Councilman Hicks.
Well, I want to ditto what everybody said, but I want to kind of extend mine. I had a problem in the creek, and a big old tree. It had to be about 150 years old. I know that looked like that tree on Gone with the Wind, you know, the one that Scarlett stood under all the time, and it was causing a damming effect, and it was going to dam. And I think Gavino and the guys, and I was angry because they cut the tree, but they didn't remove the tree, and they left it in the creek, and I was mad. But then I got a 150-foot rope and a chain, And I started going down with my own chainsaw and the little work they did, and now I have firewood. So thank you, appreciate that. I put on my boots and went down there, and
Be careful because you might get an assessment on it.
Well, I thank the mayor and the council for the kind words, and I only hope you remember them as we do our briefing this afternoon. But as you read, Mayor, we had numerous employees representing the department working all day Thanksgiving and over the weekend, and I've asked a representative from each of the districts that work to be here today, and with your permission, I'd like to call out the names and ask them to stand.
Yes.
From District 1, Archie McCurry. From Street Operations District 2, Ernest Tilley. From District 3, Thomas Jackson. District 4, Jack Mitchell. From the Central Business District, Terry Williams. From City Forces, Estacio Roque. From River Levy, our own Jimmy Johnson. Dispatch, the individuals who handle all the calls coming in, Connie Jones. And the operations manager who coordinated all our efforts, Coy Evans. Thank you, Mayor.
Councilwoman Bloomer has a comment, Mr. Sotelo.
I'd just like to branch out to another area of your expertise. As we know, your department is conducting a pilot recycling program in my district, and in this very sensitive area, I think you really should be commended, because yesterday one of my constituents who's part of that program came up to me and she said the most amazing thing. She said, "I just love my new garbage pickup." So I don't think you'll hear that many times.
Thank you.
Mr.
So I think it's
Sotelo,
going very well.
Mr. Sotelo, on the 10 o'clock news on Thursday night, I remember it well, and that's probably the proof is in the pudding, both of your work as well as the proof, the evidence that good news is not necessarily good television news. I was watching the clock, and indeed on that night a full 5 minutes was devoted to the problems of congestion and accidents throughout North Texas and the suburbs. 11 minutes was given to Fort Worth, and the comment about Dallas was things seem to be going all right in Dallas. So that's the kind of good news that we like to see. Manager?
Mr. Mayor, on behalf of all the employees, we really appreciate the council's acknowledgement here. As you all know, when I came to Dallas, I started out street and sanitation, and I can personally attest that these are some of the most committed employees I've ever worked with anywhere. Mr. Sotelo didn't tell you, but one of the advantages we have with these folks is they all watch the weather at home, and they come to work before the supervisors call them because they know they're going to be needed. And that's just the normal way they operate, and they all do a fantastic job.
Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you.
For a special recognition to Michael Sullivan for his artistic contributions at the Oak Cliff Animal Shelter, Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to have Mr. Michael Sullivan come up to the mic. Mr. Sullivan, along with several people and volunteers, have been working on fixing the Oak Cliff Animal Shelter, and has a small video he'd like to present to the council, and then we have a proclamation for you. If you go ahead, Mr. Sullivan.
Okay. What you're about to see is about a minute and a half of some of the work we completed. Not all myself. There were about 7 artists that worked on this project, and it's basically a walkthrough of the city animal shelter in Oak Cliff.
And some kids. I had some kids that helped.
I take credit for that. the portion you're looking at now is our project. Myself and my nephew, who's a burgeoning artist, created what we call the Canine Feline Museum of Art in the hallway, which is why I knocked off all the other great artists.
Assassination going to be just execution. Rick Erickson is looking for you on that subject. Rick Erickson is looking for you on that subject.
There's nothing better for an artist to be able to show and tell, and I've got one other piece I'd like to show you that we've worked on as a trail marker for the city animal shelter for people to find it. This is the new signage, and it'll be up, I believe, in January. There are going to be 30 signs, marking your way. So that's
building, and with several student volunteers from the Phoenix Project helped put that together. So it made it a little bit more homey and a little bit more friendly, user-friendly for both the pets and the individuals who are going there to adopt pets. I'd like to read a special recognition. Whereas Michael Sullivan is being recognized today for his artistic talent and endeavors in beautifying and restoring the City of Dallas Oak Cliff Animal Shelter, and whereas Michael Sullivan has been given endless hours of his time, energy, and efforts to complete his master artwork, and whereas samples of his artwork include a painting of the Bona Lisa, the Salvador doggies, and can be viewed by the citizens of Dallas. And whereas in addition to his artwork, he has also founded the Feline Canine Art Museum at the Oak Cliff Shelter and designed the artwork for the animal shelter street signs. And whereas as an artist, Mr. Sullivan has served as a role model to the youth whom assisted him in completing his master work. Now therefore, I, Steve Bartlett, Mayor of the City of Dallas, and on behalf of the Dallas City Council, do hereby extend special recognition to Michael Sullivan for his outstanding artwork and dedication to the betterment of the community. Sullivan? If you want to have any last comments.
Thank you very much. I was trying to put all this into one brief sentence, and for me as an artist, the exhilaration of creating a painting serves as its own reward. To be recognized by all of you makes it truly an important, memorable occasion for me. I'd like to thank Tawana Couch-Jurek, who wrangled all the artists together for the project, Councilman Garcia, who allowed her to do so, all the people at the shelter that I met, my nephew, who I mentioned previously, so I won't plug him again, Kenneth Cork, who helped with the film, my family for all the crayons they gave me when I was younger, and I'd like to thank you all for the opportunity to make a difference. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Sullivan. You have made a difference. For a proclamation for Dallas Save Your Vision Week, sponsored by the Dallas Academy of Ophthalmology, Councilwoman Donna Halstead. Councilwoman?
Thank you, Mayor. Dr. Thomas Hall, Dr. Rand Spencer, Dr. Ronald Feldman, and Victor Neal. Come forward, please.
Susan, Alicia. I'm Dr. Tom Hawk. This is Rand Spencer, who's a retina specialist in Dallas. Ron Feldman, who's a glaucoma specialist. Victor Neal, who coordinates our health fairs and our speakers bureau. On behalf of the Dallas Academy of Ophthalmology and other eye care professionals, I'd like to thank the mayor and the Dallas City Council for proclaiming this Dallas Save Your Vision Week. Through efforts like this, through the speakers bureau, through the health fairs, we hope to keep the citizens of Dallas better informed of their eye care options as to their various options for cataracts, surgery, or treatment, to refractive errors, to the early detection of glaucoma and treatment, to the early detection and treatment of diabetic retinopathy, and to future prevention and treatment for macular degeneration. At this time, I'd like to have Alicia and Susan tell us of a program which we are involved with.
Thank you. In conjunction with the Dallas Academy of Ophthalmologists, the Delta Gamma Foundation of Dallas will be holding our annual fundraiser, the Great Dallas Duck Race, on April the 17th at Turtle Creek and Lee Park. We'd like to extend an invitation to each of you and your families to attend. It is a family event, and we also have a complimentary sponsorship of a duck to give to each of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Hall
Councilwoman?
and our other guests this morning, when the mayor asked me to do this, I have to tell you I got a great big chuckle, because since I was 8 years old I've worn glasses, and about 6 weeks ago, through a miracle called radial keratotomy, I am now without glasses and seeing wonderfully. So the idea that I could talk about saving one's vision, preserving one's vision, was, he thought, an appropriate thing to do. I have in the past few weeks experienced the wonders of your profession. About 3 days after I had the surgery, I looked out my kitchen window and I saw leaves on a tree, and I haven't done that. We've been in the house 10 years and I haven't seen those leaves before. So what you do and how you do it is tremendous and should be proclaimed, as we are going to, through this proclamation that I'd like to present to you at this time. Whereas the preservation of good eyesight is a major concern of the citizens of Dallas, and whereas the healthcare needs of our nation are in a state of reassessment and reevaluation, and whereas this year marks the 8th annual Dallas Save Your Vision Week for the City of Dallas, and next month marks the beginning of the 9th year of the Dallas Academy of Ophthalmology public education program outreach to all citizens, from seniors to school children, throughout the City of Dallas. And whereas in this changing climate of modern health care, the physician members of the Dallas Academy of Ophthalmology have recognized the importance of community education about preservation of eyesight, and have continued to educate the community on the importance of the preservation of eyesight in a spirit of cooperation with dedication to scientific excellence and ethical conduct. And whereas the American Academy of Ophthalmology has recognized the Dallas Academy of Ophthalmology as a leader in the public education effort nationwide, now therefore I, on behalf of Steve Bartlett, Mayor of the City of Dallas, and the entire Dallas City Council, do hereby proclaim December 1st through the 7th, 1993, as Dallas Save Your Vision Week, in honor of all individuals associated with the Dallas Academy of Ophthalmology public education program and their dedicated volunteers. Would you come forward?
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now for a presentation by Councilman Chris Luna, Chairman of the Business and Commerce Committee, and someone who is making his obvious annual commitment to Santa Claus and Christmas, getting ready for the Santa Claus season. Chris Luna.
Thank you, Mayor. This year, unfortunately, my beard has a lot more gray than last year. As I think most people know, Main Street will be opening back up, and there'll be some festivities going on next week. I'd like to call down to the front at this time Gerald Barnes with Neiman Marcus, Craig Lashley with Streets, Daniel Ramos with La Fiesta, Flora Rezick with Ebony Hair Salon, and Edith Washington with the Christian Science Reading Room. Kent is
and Amy Doling and Elizabeth Barrett of Neiman's.
Yeah, I'm here for Gerald Barnes.
Great. After, if you just come to the podium there, let me go ahead and read this, and then I'll make a presentation, and then if Kent wants to add anything in terms of the festivities next Monday. Whereas the Dallas City Centers organized a series of special events called Stepping Out for the Holidays on Monday, December 6th, 1993, to celebrate the reopening of Main Street in downtown Dallas between Ackerd and Hervey Streets. And whereas a total of 37 businesses on Main Street are affected by the reopening, including, okay, Casual Girl, COU's Associates, Pretty Woman, Bank of America, Texas Finance Company, America News, Christian Science Reading Room, Original Magazine and Bookstore, H.L. Green, Discount Beauty Supply, Bones Hair Salon, Great Earth Vitamins, Main Beauty Corner, Rose's Nail Salon, Gold Spot, Dollar Plaza, Dallas Typewriter Office, Foreman Office Products, Classic Snacks, La Fiesta, Peanut Shop, Dragon House Chinese Fast Food, Hole-in-the-Wall Hamburgers, Petite Palace Donuts, Philly Steaks, Pirates Cove Bar, Rome Express, Subtotal Sub Shop, Anita's Weaving, Sal's Tailor, Shoe Doctor, Payless Shoes, Flag Jarman Shoes, Streets, Mr. D's Wine, St. Jude's Chapel, Acker Shoe Repair, and Oyster House. We'll celebrate with a Stepping Out for the Holidays parade beginning at 11:30 a.m. And whereas Neiman Marcus downtown on Main Street, in honor of the reopening, we'll host a special Buy From a Legend at the Legend celebrity shopping event to kick off its Customer Appreciation Week beginning at 12 noon. And whereas the Kirby Building on Main Street, built by Adolphus Bush, is celebrating its 80th birthday, and the reopening by conducting special building tours at 11:30 a.m. And whereas these events are co-sponsored by the Central Dallas Association, Hall Financial, and Neiman Marcus, which are free and open to the public, and everyone is invited. Now, therefore, I, Steve Bartlett, Mayor of the City of Dallas, on behalf of the Dallas City Council, do hereby proclaim December 6, 1993, as a day of stepping out for the holidays, honoring the reopening of Main Street in downtown Dallas between Ackerd and Irvay. Signed by our Mayor, Steve Bartlett, who I understand will be one of the legends selling ties at Neiman's next
Your
Monday.
own mayor will be selling Neiman's ties.
And if you saw his ties, you know he needs to buy one for himself first. But let me go make this presentation, and then I'd love to hear from each of you about the Main Street reopening and next Monday's activities.
Let's hear it for the merchants on Main Street.
Say hello to the mayor. We would love to hear your comments.
We are at Neiman Marcus just thrilled that Main Street is back open. We've already noticed increased foot traffic on Main Street. It's great to see cars going down. I think everybody's enjoying it, and I know it's only going to get better. And we look forward to next Monday and hope everybody can come on out. It's going to be a good time, and we can't wait to see Mayor Bartlett selling ties. And I believe Councilman Luna, you're going to be selling some men's sweaters on Monday as well.
Correct.
We look forward to it. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
I just want to say that we're excited about what's happening downtown with Main Street. It's been trying for some time, but we're to the end of it. We're ready for growth, and the streets are open, and it's nice to walk downtown with the wide sidewalks and all the new things. So we look forward to the opening more than probably everyone else, but we're excited and look back to getting Main Street back where it was prior to the construction. Thanks.
Well, I was told, I hope this isn't a rumor, that you demanded that the streets be open by Thanksgiving, and if you did that,
Well, let's
Mr.
just
Mayor,
say it was a strong request.
it was fulfilled. We thank you. Now we're not in the desert area, and people are returning to our area. And I want to thank Councilman Luna for reading everyone's name so no one will feel like a stepchild. And every merchant on that street is a blessing to our city in their own individual way. And we've grown closer and care more about each other through the storm. And we share water, and we share restrooms, and we share microwaves and lunch, and we cry a little bit, but then yet we have hope. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I just want to urge my colleagues. I think that was a beautiful statement that was made about sharing and being together and pulling together. I hope that we will all pull together next Monday to go down for the parade and go down for the stepping out, and then go by Neiman's and start utilizing and patronizing those businesses again on Main Street.
All of this is a way of saying that we know that the merchants have been inconvenienced in the last year because of construction, and we know that you've been inconvenienced in the last 10 years as we've had some difficult times in downtown, and we're rebuilding the right way, beginning with Main Street. So this is our way of saying at Dallas City Hall to the citizens of Dallas and all of North Texas, this year, shop downtown Main Street, shop downtown Neiman Marcus for Christmas, and then it'll go on through years to come. Thank you. Congratulations. For a special proclamation for the Adolphus Children's Christmas Parade, sponsored by Neiman Marcus, along with the Adolphus. Wait a minute, it's got 3 or 4 sponsors in, so I'll get it right. It is the Adolphus Children's Christmas Parade, sponsored by Neiman Marcus. If we bring out the cake, and I'll call on Deputy Mayor Pro Tem Charlotte Mays.
Okay, Mayor, it is indeed an honor to, as Mr. Farr, Mr. O'Neill, Mr. Gunnan, if all you would come forward, and Amy and Elizabeth, everyone played a very important role in this. I have a proclamation that I'd like to present, and it reads, whereas the magical combination of children, Christmas and charity, is found each year as Neiman Marcus presents the Adolphus Children's Christmas Parade, and whereas the parade has become a heartwarming and much anticipated holiday tradition for Dallas families, and whereas the parade reinforces the viability of downtown Dallas by providing an added attraction for visitors and by giving more than 200,000 local children and their families an opportunity to express the downtown area. And whereas this year the event's contribution to our city has been further strengthened by an important new long-term partnership with Neiman Marcus, another major downtown Dallas patron. Together, Neiman Marcus, the Adolphus Hotel, and the Children's Medical Center presents the parade as a gift to the city, its families, and their children. And whereas this year the parade will focus additional positive national attention on downtown Dallas, in addition to touching the hearts of millions of Americans, and as it is broadcast on more than 175 television stations nationwide, this is the largest number of stations to carry the parade since its inception. And whereas local corporations and individuals working on the parade continue to reach new milestones in their labor of love for Children's Medical Center of Dallas, the city's nationally renowned pediatric hospital. Now, therefore, I, Steve Bartlett, Mayor of the City of Dallas, and on behalf of the Dallas City Council, do hereby proclaim December the 4th, 1993, as Neiman Marcus presents the Adolphus Children's Christmas Parade Day, and encourage citizens to participate in recognition thereof. Signed, Steve Bartlett, Mayor of the City of Dallas, and along with the Dallas City Council, we congratulate you all. And here's your proclamation. Which one is going to receive this? Done? There you are. You're welcome.
Thank you, Deputy Pro Tem Mayor, Deputy Pro Tem Mays. My name is Garvin O'Neill. Good morning, council members. I am the general manager of the Adolphus, and excited to be here. I would like to, before we cut the cake, Mayor, if we could just share a few words about the parade.
Yes, please.
This gift is a one-of-a-kind Christmas spectacular that brings the dreams of the young to life, as well as those that are young at heart. It is a magical and heartwarming start to the holiday season here in Dallas. It sends a big D-sized welcome and a Merry Christmas to the entire nation via television, and it helps to raise funds for the important mission of one of Dallas's premier healthcare institutions, Children's Medical Center of Dallas. This special gift to the city of Dallas is the Neiman Marcus presents the Adolphus Children's Christmas Parade. As general manager of the Adolphus Hotel, I am extremely proud of this year's parade. It is more colorful and exciting than ever. It brings to the city of Dallas more floats, more characters than ever before. And
But first, before we go into a few of the special things that we'd like to mention that makes this year's parade very special, I'd like to recognize some key people that helped put this parade on. First, I'd like to recognize George Farr, who's the president of Children's Medical Center, and Jerry Gunnan, to my left, who's the president of Children's Medical Foundation, Elizabeth Barrett, who is the Media Relations and Corporate Public Relations Director of Neiman Marcus, and Amy Delling, Promotions Manager and Customer Program Manager for Neiman Marcus. Each of these representatives will share briefly with you about our gift to the city in a few moments, and a special thanks to each of you for being here today. And now I'd like to reiterate what a great pleasure it is for the Adolphus to play a role in putting this wonderful parade on. We first originated the event 6 years ago to celebrate the hotel's 75th anniversary. As you might guess, that first parade was a modest endeavor. We had never produced a parade before, and we weren't quite sure what to expect. All we knew is that we wanted to capture the wonder of Christmas for the children of Dallas and help raise funds for the important work for Children's Medical Center. With the help of Children's Medical Foundation and the many volunteers that really helped make the first parade a success, we knew that when we saw the first float go down the street that year, that we really had something special. Today, just 6 years later, the popularity of the parade has soared. It has become one of the best loved and most anticipated holiday events in the city of Dallas. It now attracts more than 200,000 people to downtown Dallas to watch the parade. The parade represents to the nation a premier Christmas parade designed especially for children. And this year, the number of Dallas area businesses and residents involved in staging the parade has also increased to more than 1,500 volunteers and more than 3,200 participants. Truly a labor of love for the Children's Medical Center. We are very proud of these accomplishments, and we are especially pleased to announce that 2 more important milestones have been reached this year. Both of these milestones are not only important to the event, but also important to the city of Dallas. At this time, I'd like to ask Jerry Gunnan, president of Children's Medical Foundation and our parade partner since the beginning, to come forward to explain some of those milestones. Jerry.
Thank you. Thank you, Garvin. As Garvin O'Neill indicated, Neiman Marcus Presents the Adolphus Children's Christmas Parade has become one of Dallas's true success stories. And that's really thanks to thousands of volunteers and to many businesses and to civic groups around the city. We at Children's Medical Foundation of Texas, a support organization for Children's Medical Center, are honored to have been a part of the parade since its inception 6 years ago, which incidentally was also our 75th anniversary. Last year, the parade contributed more than $80,000 directly to Children's Medical Center for its medical programs, and we are expecting a significantly greater contribution to Children's as a result of the parade this year. This year, as Garvin said, the parade continues to march forward. The first year it was on the street, and only those people on the street, 150,000 or so, saw the parade. The next year we went to television broadcast in about 8 markets in Texas. Several years later, by last year, we were at about 70 markets, and this year we are at 175 markets around the United States, from Alaska to Puerto Rico. And what this provides, of course, is opportunities for families and children around the United States to see Dallas in a very positive image, and for us, of course, to be able to present a beautiful picture of Children's Medical Center as well. Also, for the first time, we are joined by a major historic new sponsor on Commerce Street, and that is Neiman Marcus. We are so gratified for Neiman's joining Adolphus and Children's in this effort. The new association will bring us new potential for growth and for reaching thresholds and reaching plateaus that we've never had in the past. And as we move forward with Neiman Marcus and this 3-year commitment, I'd like for Elizabeth Barrett from Neiman Marcus to tell you some things about what they have planned to promote the parade and to help with this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jerry. Mayor Bartlett, City Council, Neiman Marcus is extremely proud and excited to join the Adolphus this year in sponsoring the Children's Christmas Parade in Dallas. We're excited because it brings a new life to downtown, and we've always had a major commitment to being downtown and to revitalizing it in whatever way we can. The parade's commitment and dedication to downtown Dallas is further strengthened this year, not only by the new partnership between Neiman Marcus and the Adolphus Hotel, but also by the involvement of the Dallas Downtown Improvement District and countless other wonderful sponsors. They have all agreed to be a part of this year's parade, and we're extremely excited about joining forces with them as well. While the parade accomplishes several other goals, its primary purpose and its reason for being is to benefit Children's Medical Center of Dallas. In spreading the holiday spirit, the parade is also able to help this wonderful hospital achieve its vision, which is to enhance the lives of young patients as well as children everywhere. Children's Medical Center is a major asset to Dallas's healthcare community, and it's one of the nation's premier pediatric hospitals, leading in cardiology, cancer treatment, and dozens of other specialties. The parade raises funds for the hospital through the sponsorship of floats, giant inflatable balloons, marching bands, and the sales of bleacher seating. And at this time, I'd like to ask George Farr, President of Children's Medical Center, to tell you a little bit more about it. George?
I first want to take the opportunity to thank you on behalf of each of us that had a great opportunity to work at Children's Medical Center, to express our appreciation for your allowing us to work at your hospital. Truly, Children's Medical Center does belong to the city of Dallas, and we appreciate the support that you as representatives of the citizens of Dallas, the opportunity that you've given us. Over the past 6 years, the parade has become a labor of love by companies and residents of Dallas who share a common vision of making life better for children. Each year, thousands of volunteers and participants work together to make this exciting holiday tradition happen. We at Children's Medical Center express our sincere appreciation for each of these individuals and each business, and to each of you. We also specifically want to thank the Children's Medical Foundation, especially Linda Harris, who couldn't be here today. Linda has been the coordinator of the parade for each of the 6 years that it's been in existence. We want to thank the Adolphus Hotel and now Neiman Marcus for their support in ensuring the success of the parade. The funds raised by the parade through corporate sponsorships have helped the hospital to provide care to more than 12,000 young patients who are admitted to our hospital. They have helped us to provide a state-of-the-art surgical facility in which nearly 10,000 children will be operated on each year. They've allowed us to have a state-of-the-art intensive care unit that will have the opportunity to care for over 2,000 children this year. And in addition to that, they've allowed us to carry out the great work that takes place in 46 different pediatric specialty clinics at Children's Medical Center. 46 clinics in which nearly 150,000 kids are taken care of. We think that's very important, and we think that funding is critical for the city of Dallas and especially our children. Children's Medical Center is celebrating its 80th anniversary this year. Since our founding in 1913, we have grown to become one of the premier referral hospitals for children in the United States, if not the world. We could not have achieved these milestones without the continued support and concern of the entire Dallas community. Again, we thank the organizers of the parade for the role this event has played in making this a good season for children and for our city. My prayer is that God will continue to bless this parade and each person that participates in it in a very, very special way, and that each of us will renew our commitment to our children, that we'll have the courage to rededicate our efforts, and that we will do whatever's necessary to make sure that we're working towards making life better for children. Thank you.
Thank you, George.
Cut the cake. Cut the cake.
It's time to cut the cake. I thought I was hearing an old record there for a minute.
Let me ask you, generally in, Mayor, let me ask you this. Generally in a situation like that cake's so pretty, do you have a dummy cake back there we can cut with and keep that cake? And Chef, let me ask you, did you buy that or did you cook that?
I would like to present Michael Watkins, who is our pastry chef at the Adolphus, who put the cake together. It is real, and it's intended to eat. It's time to cut the cake. We've got cutters and plates. We appreciate it. Thank you for the proclamation, Mayor, and Deputy Pro Tem Mayor Mays. Thank you very much.
If you can wait just a minute, a couple of council members have comments. Councilman Hicks.
I just want to say I appreciate all you're doing, and I used to drive a bus for the Children's Medical Center right around in the medical center complex in Houston when I was working my way through law school, and I had an opportunity to visit with a number of families, and I know all the peculiar injuries and the peculiar pain and suffering and support that goes into making a successful system. And I'm also appreciative that the David W. Carter High School Marching Band, an award-winning band, will also perform on December the 4th, and thank you for allowing them that opportunity.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Mallory.
I am very pleased because not only is the Children's Medical Center in my district, but I also have had a personal experience having had one of my cousins being treated at Children's Medical Center. I'm very proud of the work that you do, and I know that Mr. Gunn is very instrumental in making Children's Medical Center a big success, and I applaud your efforts and hope that you continue to do a good job. Thank you.
Bingo. Bingo.
Councilwoman Hofstad.
Thank you. I want to say thank you to all of you for your commitment to Dallas, and particularly for your commitment to our children. Unfortunately, the National League of Cities was audacious enough to schedule its annual conference at the same time as the parade, so several of us are going to be missing it, and I hope it's on television in Orlando, Florida, because I really am sick that I'm not going to be here. I am sending emissaries who are young enough to appreciate the magic of the parade on my behalf. Good luck to all of you, and thank you for what you do.
Thank you very much. Very important question. Would you like a piece of cake now, or would you like to wait for lunch?
We'll wait for lunch.
Okay.
Thank you for the cake. Thank you for the Adolphus Children's Christmas Parade, brought to you by Neiman Marcus. And we'll see you on Saturday. Open microphones. Mr. Secretary?
Mr. Mayor, you have a number of speakers that have signed to address the council at this time, the early microphone period. Our first speaker, Mark Good.
Mayor, members of the council, my name is Mark Good, and it is my privilege to serve this year as president of the Greater Dallas Planning Council. The Planning Council was founded 47 years ago to bring attention to the principal planning needs of the Dallas area and to provide support and leadership for essential programs. Early Planning Council efforts focused on transportation, urban planning and design, and water resources. Currently, the Planning Council addresses a number of additional metropolitan issues, including education, housing, public safety, and economic development. Today, we want to encourage the Dallas City Council to act boldly in pursuing the Dallas Plan initiatives. We strongly agree that the city government should view itself as an investor in the future of Dallas. We believe this can be accomplished by adopting a planned strategy that anticipates change, defines strategic initiatives, is proactive, visualizes Dallas playing a lead role in the region, and utilizes the investments by other agencies and institutions like the Children's Medical Center, as a catalyst to make things happen. To that end, the Board of Directors passed by unanimous vote the resolution I have provided to you, and it reads, Whereas the Greater Dallas Planning Council has followed the progression and participated in the process of formulating the Dallas Plan, and whereas the Dallas Plan will set priorities for capital spending projects that will influence the direction of the City of Dallas until 2025 and beyond, and whereas the City of Dallas must make bold decisions and act courageously to ensure a healthy business climate, a livable city, and delivery of essential services to all of its citizens, and whereas the Dallas Plan is an evolving process which holds the promise of charting a positive future for Dallas, therefore be it resolved that the Greater Dallas Planning Council commends the City Council for undertaking these planning initiatives and urges it to make every effort to use the recommendations of the Dallas Plan process as a framework for capital spending in the future, adopted at our board meeting on November the 9th. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Good. Thank you very much. We appreciate your taking the time, and the Dallas Plan is a process that we're at the first phase, and we look forward to working with you and your members over the course of implementing, both finalizing and implementing the Dallas Plan over the next 30 years.
Great.
Thank you for your leadership.
We look forward to it as well, and all of you would have received it in writing, but I want to personally invite you tomorrow night to the final event of the evening of the year at the Melrose, in which we are hosting the 1993 Dallas Urban Design Awards and the 1993 Dallas Design Competition, which features the Dallas Zoo entrance. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Good. Mr. Secretary?
Our next speaker is Betty Gray, followed by Darcy Temple, Al Lipscomb, and Don Mitchell.
Good morning, and thank you for letting me be here. My name is Betty Gray, and I'm from the Lake Highlands area. And I'm here to ask why a small group of people are allowed to have protests going on at the Northwest Highway for over 1.5 years. I'm a new resident of Dallas as of just 1.5 years. It is a hazard to our community and to the people who have traveled this road constantly. And a major accident is in the making. I agree with that. The noise is so offensive as to be heard on McCree and Aldwick, which is over 1/2 mile away, from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. And I wonder if any of you in the City Council would tolerate such goings-on with a bullhorn blaring from 7 to 9 a.m. I doubt it very much, and I would say that you would probably stop it. I again must ask why this protesting on Northwest Highway has been allowed to go on for this long. As a new citizen of Dallas, I expect my city officials of this city to act for all the people, and I expect you in the City Council to act like professionals in all public affairs, not to curse in public in front of your peers or march on a neighborhood. I expect the elected officials to be accountable to the citizenry inclusively. And I have to ask this question as the new person in Dallas. Who has appointed John Wiley Price to be spokesman for the police department? I ask that over and over again, and I get no answers. In my view, John Wiley Price is politicizing racism. The name, the Warriors, is in itself denotes trouble. I also ask and say to you that anyone who has demonstrated this long ends up with nothing, because the people who have been demonstrating to the people who must be listening get tired of the tirade going on, and the cause is lost. I wonder if energy such as this could not be spent on something better in neighborhoods. In closing, I must strongly urge this City Council to begin to act for all the city inclusively, and be aware that if you yell and stop traffic for a cause, others are involved, and you are penetrating the freedoms of peace, quiet, and tranquility, which we in Lake Highlands are entitled to as citizens. I urge you to act on these protests and disturbances on noise at once. And I wonder, in closing also, after listening to the wonderful people here with this children's thing, if these same demonstrators went up and down Main Street, and what would the citizenry or the public say down there, or possibly the commerce people, such as happening out on Northwest Highway. I think that you people in the City Council need to do something. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gray. Mr. Secretary?
Dorothy Temple.
My name is Darcy Temple, and I'm here to ask you to enforce the law concerning disturbing the peace. I grew up in Oak Cliff, and I moved back to Dallas last year after 20 years exile in Houston. I'm happy to be back. However, I moved into the house directly across the street from the Northeast substation. I've had chanting in my kitchen and my bedroom for 2 hours a day, 7 days a week, for 6 months straight, and for 6 months on and off before that. I hope to make you understand how unbearable this is becoming, and I hope to convince you to take action. I firmly believe that the protesters have a right to protest, but I also firmly believe that I have a right to live on my property without disturbance of the peace, repeatedly, day after day. There are good laws on the books to prevent this kind of disturbance, but they're not being enforced. You have the power to cause them to be enforced, and I'm asking you to do so. Here's how the law works. A complaint is filed. An officer is sent to determine if the noise is actually a violation of the law. The protesters are warned, and if they ignore the warning, then an arrest can be made. The protesters make the same level of noise day after day. It's been established repeatedly by police officers that this noise is disturbing the peace, and they've been warned repeatedly. But despite this warning, if they go away and they come back the next day, or if they come back the same afternoon, that warning doesn't count. They're once again, we have to go through the entire process, and they're warned. No action is taken. This cycle can continue indefinitely, and has been continuing indefinitely with no arrests. This may be the letter of the law, but surely it's not the intent, and it doesn't stop disturbing the peace. Here's the result of this style of enforcement. At 7 a.m., I'm getting dressed, I hear the noise, I call the police station and make a complaint. They send a police officer to my house. He walks through the kitchen and he walks through the bedroom and he listens to the noise, and he may determine it's too loud, so they warn the protesters. The next day, I get up, I'm getting dressed, 7 a.m., I hear the noise, I call the police, they send a police officer over, he walks through my house, he determines the noise is bad. This goes on repeatedly, and there's no end to the cycle. Is this the intent of the law? The protesters think it's a joke. They post sentries, and when they see the policeman coming to my house, they turn the bullhorn down until he leaves, and I have to start the complaint process over. We discussed this with the police. They tell us the city lawyers insist that they enforce the law in this manner. The city lawyers answer to you, the city government. You can improve this situation. I'm asking you to ensure that the law of disturbing the peace is enforced. It's enforced fairly, and it's enforced so that it accomplishes its goal of preserving the peace.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
Ms. Temple, if you'd take a seat, there may be a council question or two at the end of the speakers. Ms. Secretary?
Hal Lipscomb, he is not here. Don Mitchell, he is not here. That's all of the speakers we have, Mr. Mayor.
Councilwoman, first let me say, Ms. Temple, your description does sound pretty foolish. I think the council would probably like to get a feedback on how that law is enforced, and so we'll get back a response back from the manager. Councilwoman Halstead.
Thank you, Mayor. Ms. Gray, thank you for coming down. Let me correct one thing. The commissioner is not a member of the Dallas City Council. He's a member of the Commissioner's Court, and he, as an individual, has a right to express his opinions as he sees fit. I think we have reached a point where his opportunity to express his opinion has begun to infringe upon the rights of other citizens, and that is where I take issue with him. Ms. Temple, you and Jay and I have visited on the phone I don't know how many times over the past several months, and I've asked the same question that you asked this morning. At what point does the strict interpretation of the law become absurd? Do we have to continue to make the same warning every 24 hours for 365 days? Or do we apply some common sense to the law and say that if we have warned someone at 7 a.m. on the 23rd of the month, and they are aware of that behavior being a violation of the law, then why on the 24th of the month must we again warn them? I have yet to receive what I consider to be an adequate answer to that question. I will continue to ask the question because I think it is patently absurd that we must continue to give the same warning day in and day out for a year before any enforcement can occur. If I receive an answer that I think is an adequate answer to the question, I will certainly share it with you. But at this point, I am as frustrated as you that the strict interpretation precludes any use of common sense in dealing with the issue. Let me also say that I do want to thank John Ware and others in the city for reevaluating the process that our police officers were using in dealing with the protesters. I think there have been some improvements made, and I appreciate their efforts in making the situation more tolerable for the community. But when we have reached a point where our citizens have to be escorted from their homes to their own cars by police officers because of intimidation by protesters, I think we've got a big problem and we need to deal with it.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Hicks.
Well, I agree with the speakers that there's something wrong with a city that cannot respond to your problems, and that's what black folk have been saying. When is discrimination going to end? When are we going to have some parity and equity? When you spend $200 million in capital improvements and only get $1 million, something's wrong with that. You know, I agree with you. When is the system going to respond? And maybe we need this charter review committee.
Thank you. We'll immediately move to 6E South for our morning briefing. They'll start in 5 minutes at 10:20.